Yeah, do reach out because I know some people are a bit lost as to what to do in that immediate aftermath. What about the summer of fires? Because we heard not long ago, we obviously had a bit of a perfect storm of La Nina, all the water and growth, and then El Nino. But we've had so much rain lately in large parts of the country. Has that risk of fire dissipated at all in some parts of the country?
Short answer, unfortunately, is no, Tom. In fact, what we think is that the rain that's occurred in much of Australia in recent times, it probably delayed bushfires compared to the situation we were facing. But what it has done is obviously lift the vegetation even further. And the issue we're facing this summer is just very hot and dry conditions across a lot of the country, which combined with that higher vegetation is a real fire risk. The biggest concern I've got, though, heading into the summer is heat waves. There's no doubt that we are going to be facing bushfires in some parts of the country, cyclones and floods in others. But what we know for sure is we're facing very hot conditions, particularly across the south of the country. We lose more people, lose more lives every year from heat waves than any other form of natural hazard. And it's going to be really important this summer that people look out for their neighbours, make sure that they do seek cool spots within their homes, public pools, public libraries, things like that. So we're still facing a pretty difficult disaster season this year, and that's why it's good that we're seeing so much preparation.
We've got some pretty high power bills around the country and some pretty stressed power grids. We've got New South Wales saying, if you can, don't put your air conditioner below 24. Is it disappointing in this day and age that that's what we need? Ministers saying, don't use too much energy. Maybe there are people out there in Queensland struggling to afford a bill, won't put it on and get in that sort of heat stress. Does it feel like power bills are still too high in that sense?
Oh, look, of course, as a government, we want to see all we can do to bring down those power bills. And I've talked to you before, Tom, about some of the measures that we've taken with energy price relief and capping coal and gas prices, those types of things, which even the Bureau of Statistics the other day recognised had made a real difference to power prices. But we obviously recognise that people are doing it tough and we need to continue supporting them. But I think, pretty much every summer we do see those requests, whether it be from ministers or energy authorities, to conserve energy on very hot days. We have been able to bring a lot more energy generation into the network over the last year or so.
What's your thermostat at in the Watt household?
Well, I'm pleased to tell you we don't actually have air conditioning in our household, Tom, which is pretty strange in Queensland, I guess. But we've got ceiling fans and they run pretty fast through summer, but we're lucky we've got some pretty nice breeze that comes through, although those nights in February can get a bit hot.
Yeah, all right. Well, there you go. That's the ultimate efficiency. I just want to ask you, I'm not sure we'll talk again this year. How would you describe the Labor government's end of the year? And do you think the government needs to take stock over the summer about some things that aren't working that well?
Look, I think any fair assessment of the Albanese government's work this year can see a huge amount of progress towards the objectives we set when we won the election. We're working really hard to address those cost of living pressures that Australians are facing. And we need to remember that almost every one of those measures we brought in has been opposed by Peter Dutton and the Coalition. They like to give us a lot of stick about cost of living, but every time we've put something up, they've opposed it. Energy price relief, childcare relief, cheaper medicines, the list goes on. So we're doing what we can, but we know there's more to be done. But in the new year, I think that we'll also see even more around strengthening Medicare, which is also a big cost of living issue for people, keeping that a future made in Australia, building our manufacturing industry. And there's obviously been incredible work done on the national security front, biosecurity, natural hazards, those kinds of things. So I think that we've made some really good progress, but we're never going to be complacent, and we know we need to keep earning people's trust.
Yeah, polls suggest, even more than that. But anyway, we'll talk next year, I'm sure. Murray, I'd appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Have a good Christmas.